Welcome to MLC TV News Hour, reaching live from the city of Lokoja, the Confluence State of Nigeria. I am Jane Balagbubu. First, the headline. Federal government sacks 23 workers with fake appointment letters. Lagos State introduces history as compulsory subject in schools. William Ruto emerged Kenya's new president. 41 killed, including children, as fire got church in Egypt. And SIMONA HALEP beats BEATRIZ HADDAD MAIA to win Canadian Open. And now the news in detail. No fewer than 23 ghost workers have been uncovered in the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing in Abuja. The Federal Civil Service Commission discovered the civil servants whose employment letters were found to be fake. It has therefore ordered that the affected persons be disengaged from service. It was reported that the head of Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemi, has been lamenting the presence of fake civil servants in the nation's ministries, departments and agencies since the beginning of her tenure. Last week, it was gathered how a civil servant in the ministry, Richard Ogenehoro, reported the presence of ghost workers in the ministry. The panel set up within the ministry on the matter had recommended sanctions for the whistleblower for the breaching public service rules. An analysis of the list of the affected persons showed that 14 of them are in the works department, while 9 are in the housing department. The ministry's director recruitment, Aliyu Abdullahi, thereafter issued a directive that the officers whose names appear on the list were found to have fake appointment letters. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, has ordered the deployment of watertight security arrangements to cover all schools, hospitals, health workers, and critical national infrastructures around the country. The IGP has equally ordered regular patrols, stop and search raids, and show of force by tactical commanders to clamp down on pockets of crime and criminality recorded in some states of the Federation. The IGP gave the directive while reviewing the general security situation of the nation via reports from commands and formations across the country. The IGP has, however, tasked strategic police managers at various levels to prioritize the use of intelligence gathering networks, particularly traditional, local intelligence, to locate criminal hideouts and flush them out before the strike. He has equally charged all officers and men to be on the offensive and take the fight against crime to the doorpost of suspected criminal elements, including bushes and uncompleted buildings, profile them and charge those found wanting to court accordingly. Against the backdrop of these developments, Nigerians are hereby urged to cooperate with the police, as many police operatives will be seen at strategic areas. The IGP has, however, warned officers and men of the Nigerian police force to be civil, professional, and humane in the course of discharging their duties. Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has warned Ibiras living in the state to flush out criminals among them. The governor urged them to join hands with the government in ridding the state of crime. Governor Akeredolu, who stressed that the Ebira people have lived together with the indigenes of the state for too long, charged them not to deviate from the farming trade. This is contained in a press statement made available to journalists by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Richard Olatunde, that the Governor spoke at a meeting with the leaders of the Ebira community in the state at the Koko Conference Hall of the Governor's Office, Alagbaka, Akure. Governor Akeredolu said that the meeting was summoned in the light of the recent development of the attack in Owo and other kidnapping cases in the state. He disclosed that the leaders of the Ibera community have been urged to rid themselves of criminals and deal with the situation the best way, so as to protect their name and integrity in the state. The governor said that his message to the Ibiras is well understood, and they have the assurance that the Ibiras who are living in Ondo State would cooperate with the security agencies, and that the incident in Owo was something that they felt very bad about. Akeredolu disclosed to journalists that he have also received a letter from Ohinoi of Ibira land, who is the leader of Ibira in the world, commiserating again and expressing his embarrassment at what happened. He said they live with the belief that their brothers, Ibira, that are there would at least work to ensure that there is security, and in doing that, they charged them to discuss with all the rest of Ebira in the state. They assured the governor of their cooperation. The governor said the Ebiras told him that it is not those that reside among them that perpetrated the crime. The governor said he believed them and hence gave them another chance. He said they should continue to live together in peace and hope and pray that the Ebiras who are in Ondo State will work with the government and security agencies to make sure that criminals are flushed out within their midst and give them his cooperation in whatever way they wish. The Ebiras were led by the Odeyani and Ebira, Zubair the Musa and Abdulaziz Majeo Baje Akure, State Chairman of Ebira. In attendance were the Deputy Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG Zone 17, Yusuf Mohammed Akera, heads of security agencies, members of the State Executive Council, and chairmen of the 6 local government councils in the Northern Senatorial District of the state. The Lagos State government has introduced history as a standalone compulsory subject across schools in the state. This was contained in a letter to all private school owners in the states signed by the Director of Research, Office of Education Quality Assurance, Lagos State Ministry of Education, E.I. Pelemo. The letter directed schools in the state to make the subject compulsory at primary and junior secondary school levels. According to her, the subject can be taken as an elective in the senior secondary school level. Pelemo said the introduction of history as a standalone subject in the state was an implementation of the directive of the Nigerian Education Research and Development Council. There had been renewed calls for the return of history to schools in the country after it was initially stopped. The chairman of All Farmers Association in Nigeria Southwest, AFAN, Dr. Otumba Oke, has urged every member of the association to make sure they obey and oblige with the Internal Revenue Service by paying their tax, as this will help them in many ways when needed.
They believe that farmers don't pay tax, which is wrong, and we are trying to sensitize our people in that area too, that tax is too paid. But it's not as big as they should be expecting. Farmers should be subsidized. And that was why we could be able to plug into 8,100. And our farmers have now complied to pay the amounts.
He made this known to them at their monthly meeting at the Ministry of Agriculture, Agege, Lagos State. He further promised to make sure his days as chairman brings great success story to the association, as there are plans on ground to bring in foreigners that are willing and ready to support farmers with whatever they need to make their work easy and smooth.
The apex body of the governor in the governance, which we have not been involved, and they have agreed that the directorate should be given to farmers who are allied, so that we will be part of the body that will be in charge of the governance, especially in the area of selection or nominating commissioners, special advisors, other boards. So they have now come to sensitize us.
Also in attendance is the Director General of Asiwaju Grassroots Campaign Team, Olugbenga Akim Abdullahi, urged all Farmers Association in Nigeria, AFAN, to make their presence known to the government by having a contract with the government. He said without contracts there is no case, and the best way to go into farming is to form cooperative.
If you look at it critically, what governs is capacity. What we're looking for is someone that has the capacity. Be it a Muslim, be it a Christian, even be the third one. We're talking about Christians, what about traditional occupiers? And who is going to fight for them? Everybody is important.
He further urged them to know their worth. He said if they don't know their worth, they will be bought cheaply. He also told them to see themselves as a powerful group. That way, governments won't have choice but to grant their request, because the foundation of every nation is farmers. We go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Get human interest stories right here on MLC TV, with entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories all featured on MLC TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on MLC TV. MLC TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news, entrepreneur ideas, and youth matters to the rest of the world. MLC TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone.
Welcome back. Now on politics. Tinubu support group TSG has thanked the All Progressives Congress APC's presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu over the appointment of James Faleke as the secretary of APC's Presidential Campaign Council. This is contained in a congratulatory message to James Faleke and signed by the group's head of media, Tosin Adeyanju, describing him as an experienced, dutiful, responsible and responsive leader. Tosin said Leke's appointment is a round peg in a round hole. The team congratulates him on his new opportunity and national assignment to serve the party APC and the nation at large. TSG added that his appointment is a perfect strategy owing to his political sagacity, his knack for development, social dexterity, and his unalloyed loyalty to his principal, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who by the special grace of God is the incoming president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2023. As a noble organization committed to the Tinubu-Shettima 2023 victory at the polls, they thanked their leader and the party's presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his vice Shettima for finding him worthy of this noble appointment. Now on foreign news. On Kenya election, Kenya's Deputy President William Ruto led a tight presidential race against opposition leader Raila Odinga. Official results reported by Kenya media showed as an announcement from electoral authorities on the winner appeared imminent.
Kenya's Deputy President William Ruto has defied the odds by winning the fiercely contested presidential election in East Africa's powerhouse. His victory was narrow, stunning and highly controversial as 4 of the 7 members of the Electoral Commission rejected the results amid claims of rigging. There were chaotic scenes inside the main tallying centers. Scuffles broke out around the podium as the head of the commission, Wafula Chebukati, was seemingly about to announce the results. Chebukati later returned to declare Ruto the winner and insisted that the election was free and fair. The official result shows that Ruto gained ground in the strongholds of Raila Odinga, his main opponent. He also won by a landslide in Mount Kenya, the political heartland of Odinga's running mate, Martha Karua, and the outgoing president Uhuru Kenyatta. This helped swing the election in Ruto's favor.
A fire that broke out Sunday in a Coptic Christian church in Egypt's capital, Cairo, killed 41 people, church officials said. The blaze started for unknown reasons at the Abu Sifin church in the capital's northwestern working-class district of Mbaba, officials said. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi declared on his Facebook page that he has mobilized all state services to ensure that all measures are taken. Fire services later said the blaze had been brought under control. Copts are the largest Christian community in the Middle East, making up at least 10 million of Egypt's 103 million people. Copts have suffered reprisals from Islamists, particularly after Sisi overthrew former Islamist President Mohammed Morsi in 2013 with churches, schools and homes burnt down. Sisi, the first Egyptian president to attend the Coptic Christmas Mass every year, recently appointed a Coptic judge to head the Constitutional Court for the first time in history. Egypt has suffered several deadly fires in recent years. Egypt has said it will temporarily suspend its participation in the United Nations peacekeeping force in Mali starting on Monday over concerns about the security of its troops. The move follows the killing of 7 Egyptian troops serving under the United Nations mission in Mali, MINUSMA, in attacks since January. The decision also comes as activists backing Mali's military-led government continue to demand MINUSMA's expulsion over its perceived failure to protect civilians from attacks. Egypt's mission to the UN in Nairobi said last month that the Egyptian contingent of MINUSMA would be temporarily withdrawn but did not indicate how long the suspension would last. Egypt has about 1,000 soldiers in MINUSMA, mainly providing logistical support. Let's now join Jonah Malik for the sports updates.
And sports updates, Nigeria beat South Korea 1-0 on Sunday in the Group C football match at the ongoing 2022 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Costa Rica. Esther Onyenezide's late strike gave the Falconets victory in their second group match of the tournament. The Falconets will now face Canada in their final group match on Wednesday. Still on sports from tennis, SIMONA HALEP had won her 2 previous Canadian Open titles in Montreal. The tournament alternates each year between Montreal and Toronto. SIMONA HALEP produced a battling performance in Toronto to beat Brazil's BEATRIZ MAIA in 3 sets and claim a 3rd Canadian title open. The 2019 Wimbledon champion pulled through 6-3, 2-6, 6-3 to cement her race back up to 6th in the world rankings. HALEP, who is 30 years old, dropped from 2nd in the world to 20th after missing a large part of last season with injury. Spain's Pablo Carreno Busta beat Poland's Hubert Hurkacz 6-3, 3-6, 6-3 to win the men's title. The 31-year-old pulled off what he described as the best title of his career after seeing off Britain's Dan Evans in the semi-finals. Carreno Busta, 23rd in the world, battled back after losing the first set on a single break of serve to turn the table on world number 10 Hurkacz for a deserved victory. HADDAD MAIA will have been dreaming of a similar upset against HALEP, but we have to be content with breaking into the world's top 20 after her run of the women's final in Toronto. 2-time Grand Slam champion HALEP showed all her resolve to record a 38th win of the season. Only world number 1 Iga Swiatek has won more with 49. And that's sports update on MLC TV News Hour. I am Malik Jonah reporting. Back to Augusta for more stories.
Thank you, Jonah, for the updates. And over to Matthias Ayodeji Peters for the entertainment update.
On our foreign entertainment news, Hollywood actress Annie Eche is dead. The movie star passed away after sustaining several injuries from a car accident. The actress was declared brain dead on Thursday, August 11, 2022 by doctors following the injuries from the accident. Eche crashed a car on Friday, August 5th and never regained consciousness. Eche had slipped into a coma shortly after the accident and remained in critical condition. She is survived by a 20-year-old son, Homer Lafon, whom she shared with ex-husband Coleman Coley Lafon. The two were married from 2001 to 2009. She is also mom to 13-year-old son Atlas Eche Tupa, whom she shared with her Men in Trace co-star James Topper. Eche was famous for a 3-year-old relationship with media personality Ellen DeGeneres. Still in our entertainment news from Africa, the countdown to Netflix and KAP Motion Pictures collaboration Anikulapo has officially begun with the release of its official trailer. Directed by Kunle Afolayan, Anikulapo is set to loosely follow the story of a young man's quest for greener pasture in ancient Oyo Kingdom. The trailing new trailer teases a fine dose of romance, intrigue, and drama elements fans of the filmmakers can anticipate. In the lead role as Saro is Kunle Remi, with Shola Shobowale, Bimbo Ademoye, Akim Kai Kazim, Taiwo Ogugo Hassan, Aisha Lawa playing principal roles. The film's debut was confirmed during Netflix's recently held event to unveil a fresh slate of African titles. Shot by Jonathan Covell at the newly launched KAP Resort in Oyo State, principal photography was announced in February, with the filmmaker promising to leave film lovers bedazzled with a storyline that explores similar themes as HBO's hit series Game of Thrones, but with a representation of the Yoruba culture. and Nikolapo will begin streaming on Netflix from September 30th. And that is all on entertainment news today. My name is Matthias Ayodeji Peter.
Thank you, Matthias, for the update. The Jigawa State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, said that 50 people, including a newborn, were killed in building collapse due to heavy downpours in different parts of the state. The tragedy occurred across the state since the beginning of the rainy season. The Executive Secretary of the agency, Yusuf Sani, told newsmen that several houses were either damaged or destroyed, rendering several families homeless. Sani said the displaced persons were currently taking refuge in 11 temporary camps, while others stayed with their relatives as the agency was making efforts to open camps to accommodate the victims. He added that the agency had been providing the victims, including those staying with their relatives, with items and other basic needs. According to him, the worst hit areas are Kafin Hausa and Balagun villages, all in Kafin Hausa local government areas of the state. He said in Kafin Hausa, 6 people died, 68 hospitalized, and 1,436 lost their houses, while in Balagun, 4 people died and 238 lost their houses. He said the agency got information of the death of 7 people from same family, including a newborn baby in a building collapse on Sunday in Kafin Hausa. Sani said he could not immediately give the exact number of communities and people affected by the disaster in the state because personnel of the agency were still assessing the level of damage and compiling lists of the victims. He, however, commended the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, for its prompt response to the disaster by bringing succor to the victims. NEMA has begun the distribution of relief items to the victims in 6 most affected local government areas of HADDAD, Kere Kasama, Kafin Hausa, Berniwa, Kagoma, and Malamadori. And that is the size of our package today. Join us tomorrow at the same hour to watch our news as we give you updates on happenings within and across the globe. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Malachi TV, like and follow our Facebook page, MLC TV, Instagram, MLC TV 2021, and Twitter at MLC TV 1. For your events, coverage, information, contribution, adverts, and sponsorship, please call any of our numbers displayed on your screen. Join us Fridays and Saturdays to watch our special programs. It is Malachi TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone. I am Jane Balagbubo. Please continue to be your brother's keeper to build a united and peaceful society together. Good evening and thanks for watching.